it going?
It's going great. Thank you. It's great to be back at the 5G Summit here with CTIA and all of you. I was here last year, able to share the AT&T 5G connected helmet. And this year, I think I've upped my game. I've brought Igal with me to talk a little bit about what we're doing at AT&T with the 5G network. And I thought I'd set context real quick. Across the network at AT&T, we are leading the way in converged. And what we've said is we are out there with our 5G wireless network and our fiber network converging for consumers and for customers alike, building the network of the future. And we know that provides a lot of growth potential. At AT&T, there's 4 out of 10 households that have both wireless and fiber today. So the opportunity is there. And customers are much more satisfied when they have the ability to have that service and that connectivity. What we also know is that 5G service and wireless opens up the opportunity, and we've opened up the network as well. And so Igal and I are going to have a quick chat. I'm going to put him in the hot seat around how we're opening up the network, we're making it programmable, we're modernizing the network, and we're putting AI to use. Sound like a plan?
100%.
All right, we've got about 13 minutes, 48 seconds.
Sure.
Piece of cake.
It is a piece of cake.
All right, can you talk a little bit here? I want to bring it back to how is it benefiting customers? How is it benefiting consumers? So I'll weigh in back and forth. We work quite a bit together, bringing products on top of the network. And so talk a little bit about, we're touching nearly every single cell site in the network as we modernize it and you actually open it up for use.
Sure. So it's actually exactly 18 months since we announced what I consider to be one of the most courageous moves that I can remember in our industry. And there's 2 parts to what we're actually doing. You touch on both of them. First part is actually the build. We are touching pretty much every cell site in our network. We are putting all of our mid-band spectrum to work. That is adding capacity, that is adding speed. We're already covering 270 million POPs, and that's going to be 300 million POPs at the end of 2026. And with that, there's several things that are coming up. With that capacity, we're opening up new geographies for our Internet Air product. It helps us and supports us with continuing the rollout of our 5G standalone mobile core. This is what even add additional speeds and better latencies and what offer our customer the full 5G experience. So imagine a customer who wants to have an enhanced experience on our wireless network like AT&T Turbo. This is what makes it available. We have a large IoT business, and we want to help our customers to move into 5G. And we're going to have our nationwide 5G RedCap running on our commercial network this summer. So that's one part. The other part is while we're doing all of this, we're actually transitioning our architecture into an Open RAN architecture. This is where we made our bold statement that 70% of our traffic is going to run through Opera interfaces by the end of 26. We think it's good for us because we're going to have an open and modern and programmable network, with also good for the industry that's going to foster innovation, that's going to grow what is a somehow limited ecosystem. We think there's many reasons to believe why it's good for the US leadership when it comes to wireless technology. Eben mentioned that it's not experimental any longer. Open RAN is right. What I would add to this, it's not designed only for greenfield network. There's not enough scale with greenfield networks, so this is why established network like AT&T should make those moves so we can push the industry forward. So with that, imagine, Jen, we're going to have an open, modern, and programmable network that's going to open up a lot of possibilities for us and for our customers.
And as we are able to provide those services for customers, it obviously gives them the opportunity to then connect at different types of events. You mentioned AT&T Turbo, a great ability to boost service at different points. We offer that in context, whether that's at home or on the go. And then you also, we didn't mention, but we have the ability with AT&T Fiber and then AT&T Wireless, internet backup. would be another example where we can ensure connectivity at all times. So a more efficient use of our spectrum gives us the ability to ensure customers stay connected.
Cool.
So it's always exciting when you show up at the office and say, hey, we've got this ability to have our spectrum put to different use.
Correct.
All right, and you've got some other activity happening as well. We've been working through the programmable piece to this and putting APIs on the network. And maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Sure. We typically think about APIs in the context of the wireless network, but I think, Jen, you mentioned convergence. I think this is what's unique in what we're offering, because now we can bring an open and programmable converged network.
Right.
And when you expose this to a software layer, all of a sudden you have an extraordinary platform for innovation. And I would encourage us to think like we do on that innovation in 3 buckets. One is, how we build our own network product and services. Turbo is a great example. What we're doing in connected car, how we're connecting collaboration platform with our carrier-grade voice. This is all based on an API-first strategy that we have in our company. So that's bucket number 1. Bucket number 2 is what we call wholesale. Jen, you're challenging us to bring our wireless experience to more customers through MVNO. You're also challenging us to bring more of our fiber experience to more customers through the open access providers. The only way to do that at scale repeatedly is only by leveraging standardized APIs, the way we're doing this on top of our network. And probably what is the most exciting part of this is how do we open this up for third-party developers? How we allow anyone to innovate on top of our network. We've made, as an industry, we've made remarkable progress over the last 12, 18 months to standardize APIs between us. And now we're putting this to work, exposing this to developer, trying to think what kind of innovation can be created on top of our network. And as I said, our uniqueness is on the fact that we are not just bringing the wireless network. Think about a converged experience between our wireless network, and if you walk home into your home gateway, that experience is extended. So it's opening up a lot of possibilities, a lot of experiences, and we're pretty excited about that.
And as we bring people into that ecosystem, are you getting reactions from a broader set of industry players?
We do. We actually, we started, I think I would say 18 months ago, a network API accelerator, where we're putting in the hands of developer our APIs, and that is exchange of ideas about what can they do on top of the network, and we get sense about what they think is working or not working for them. We got more than 100 engagement of those companies working with us in different verticals, public safety, healthcare, communication, and we're learning a lot through that, and that's helping us shaping what kind of APIs we'll expose over time.
So the unlock there with respect to both the value and the growth that we can create across the country, but also the innovation and the competitiveness that we can create as an industry for the country also starts to ignite.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so we take that, APIs and an open network. We've heard it mentioned a couple of times already. We're third up on the track. We'll be the third one then in a row to bring up AI and talk about how AI then comes into play on the network, because that's the natural evolution for making the network smarter.
Absolutely. Actually, before I even talk about what we're doing as a company, I do want to reflect a little bit about what Ajit said earlier and published a couple of days ago about US leadership when it comes to wireless technology. And I do want to connect this to that question, because I think it gets extended, not just thinking about this from a wireless perspective. AI is going to get embedded into wireless network. That is a fact. It's happening in the standard. And we're actually moving from what we called a cloud-native 5G to an AI-native NEC-G or future G. And if those 3 things, cloud, AI, and wireless, are embedded, and the only way for us, and if you think about the US industry, we have 3 nationwide investing at scale in this country. The best cloud companies are here. The best AI companies are here. And if you bring all of this together and you run all of the innovation, the next use case, the next experience, all based in the US, this is what's going to drive leadership of the US. So I encourage us to think about this in that context. Specifically to what we're doing, clearly more customers are using AI capabilities on their phone, no matter if the model works locally on the phone or at the edge. We need to allow our customer a flawless experience whenever they use a ChatGPT or any other app on the phones. And in addition to this, how do we actually think about AI when we're running our network? It starts with planning. I don't have to tell you the complexity of where to deploy spectrum, where to build the next cell site. The amount of attributes and parameters are immense. Humans cannot do that any longer, and so we use AI for planning, and then we're extending this to, from a customer-centric perspective. Usual day in a wireless network, you can have a weather event, you can have a fiber cut, and the ability for the network automatically understand those attributes and retune the antennas or change the configuration in real time. This is what helps us to bring service and provide an awesome experience to our customers. We develop our own network foundational model, which helps us to improve things that we've built for years. Energy saving is a great example, right? We already had a best-in-class model of how to do energy saving. With our model, we now improve this by 30%. So I think the ability to bring AI on top of an open and programmable network, because that's the only way it's going to work, right? This is how the data is going to get exposed, and this is how you can actually create autonomous actions because it's programmable. So the ability for us to put the customer in the center of what we're doing and how we're designing the model and how we're building and planning the network, that's what gets exciting when you bring wireless and AI together.
I think it's when you talk about it that way, the ability to do what we do in the network and the ability to apply AI into other parts of our business, our customer care operations, into our sales and our distribution arm. It's what lets us bring the AT&T guarantee to life.
Absolutely.
As the only carrier that came out with both a guarantee on our wireless and our fiber network as a promise to customers. And it's that confidence of being able to serve at scale within the network and then beyond that AI provides that makes it so exciting and has really energized internally and reinvigorated our commitment to each other and to the customers. And so it's a good time to be at AT&T.
It is.
As I wrap us up, I'd try to thread these pieces together and say, from an open and a programmable, modernized network, one that has an API platform that we can build and develop on top of, that creates such opportunity for innovation and growth, and one that has AI applications that, as Igal says, opens up an ecosystem for us to both get more efficient use of our spectrum, to get smarter networks and serve customers better. Energy savings is a great example internally for us that has provided certainly both savings, but also just a better use of the resources. It creates an environment that clearly allows us to be more competitive as an industry, but as a country. And as we look at serving consumers, which is obviously the role that I play internally every single day, we know that demand is only going to increase on our networks, and we expect that to be about 80% of an increase over the next 5 years. To support everything that we talked about for growth and for innovation, competitiveness, and to support those consumers, it does require spectrum. And so that's what we are here today to talk about. It is the key message, and the need for spectrum is real. And so as we close, I would just echo the sentiments of speakers before and say that the need for mid-band spectrum and opening up the spectrum pipeline is critical to continue to support that competitiveness, that growth, and the customers who use the connectivity services. Thank you for joining me today. Thanks for all of you for your time, and I hope you have a great afternoon.
Thank you.